my channel. Today I just wanted to come on just to share like this quick little story. I wrote about it in my diary like years ago when I was in high school, but it was about 2007 is when I graduated high school, and there was always these rumors around where I was from, which is Lima, Ohio, about this bridge called Cryberry Bridge. And I've heard it over the years growing up. And one night I was out with the girls in high school, and we was playing this game called something like Freeze Out or whatever. Oh, by the way, I'm using Fenty Beauty primer. There was about 6 of us, and I'm not gonna say their names or whatever, but I'm still keep an eye on them on YouTubies, not YouTubies, but Facebook. And so there was this one night we had got together, and we was being rebellious teenagers. It was, for some of us, one of us had already graduated the year before, 2006, and one was going to graduate the year after us in 2008. But there was about 6 of us, and so we decided to be rebellious teenagers and go out and about. The girl that had graduated the year before us, she was the driver. And so we was playing this game called something like Freeze Out or whatever, and where it was that we would roll all the windows down in the car, and if you said that you were cold, you had to take off a layer of clothing. So while we was playing this game, we was listening to Panic at the Disco, their album that had came out. We was all like emo and things like that. So we was listening to this album, and we was just having time. Having a good time. I still remember it like it was yesterday. And one of the girls was like, let's go to Cryberry Bridge or Hangman's Curve. And Hangman's Curve was this little street in Lima. I still remember where it was. And the rumor has it, the urban legend has it, is that a man hung himself, and if you go there at certain times, you will see his body hanging there. So he like unalived himself there. And so we ended up doing both of them. Excuse me, there's a call. We ended up doing both of them. We went to Hangman's Curve, and we didn't really see anything, and so we decided to go to Cryberry Bridge. Now, I don't remember exactly where this bridge was. I tried to look it up just so I can like tell you for this purposes of this video, but there wasn't a lot of information of where you can actually find it. So we ended up going. The driver, the girl that had previously graduated, she knew where it was, and she was like, okay, let's go there next. And so we drive out there. We playing Panic at the Disco loud. I still have that album, by the way. And it was cold, so we was like, oh, when we get there, we're gonna streak. We're gonna streak and be streakers when we get there. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, let's do this. And so we ended up going out there, and we're just having fun or whatever. And we started streaking. Well, one of my friends, she decided to go ahead and take off her shirt. Like, we took off our shirt. We didn't take off like our bras, but she decided to take off her bras. So we're just having a good time. It's the dead of night. Our parents don't know that we're out there. We're just having fun being teenagers. There was like no illegal substances or anything like that involved. We was just out there hanging out. So all of a sudden, we just like, it was dead silence. It was pitch black out there. And we started, one of us said, do you hear that? And so we were like listening. We were like, hear what? And we actually heard like some noise, like it could have been a baby crying, because the rumor has it that a baby was unalive there. They had drowned either by being pushed over or whatever. So we hear it and we're like freaking out. We're like, oh my goodness, we didn't have like the cool cell phones that we have now. We didn't have those cool cell phones or whatever, so we couldn't record it. But I distinctly remember, like, we hurried up and we put on our clothes, like, really fast. We put on our clothes, and the lady that was driving, she was just like, you know, I want to hear a little bit more. Let's sit down. Well, she's not a lady. Let's sit down and, like, listen. So we started to explore around this bridge. We didn't have any flashlights or anything like that with us. It was just us and like the car lights. And so we're listening. We're still hearing like strange sounds, like leaves rustling, and we hear like this cooing in the background. And we're sitting there, we're trying to listen and like figure out where it's coming from. And we couldn't figure it out, so we put on our clothes because we were still like half naked. We put on our clothes and we're just sitting in the car. We stopped exploring. We're just sitting in the car. And then all of a sudden, like these headlights come on, and we didn't, mind you, we didn't hear any cars pull up. We didn't see any cars pull up. Even though it was dead at night, we still had the moonlight. We didn't see anything coming. And then all of a sudden these headlights like flash on. We're freaking out. We're all like stupid teenagers out in the middle of the night. We are freaking out and we're like, oh my God. And I don't know if it was like supernatural or what, but we was scared shitless. And the headlights is on, and like the girl that was driving, she was trying to turn on the car. The car wouldn't turn over. Car wouldn't turn over, so we're still sitting there freaking out. Car not turning over. We're telling her to drive, drive, drive. Like, let's get the heck out of here. She couldn't do it. The car didn't turn over. So while she's like trying to turn the car over, the headlights start to move. Like they was in front of us and they started to move towards us. We still couldn't see if it was a car. It was just lights. And we're freaking out still. And next thing you know, the headlights are in front of us. Like literally in front of her car. And I know it was like one of the major supernatural events that I had witnessed like with people. And so now the headlights are in front of her car. They had moved towards us, and then cause like we was on one side of the street and the headlights was on the other side of the street. So the headlights moved forward and then cut over and was like directly in front of her car. We're still sitting there freaking out. We have nowhere to go. Nobody knows that we're out here. And then so the car finally turns over. The car is now on. The car is now on, and she's trying to back away. She's trying to back away to get out of there because we wanted to leave. And she's backing away. We're freaking out. We're like hugging each other and things like that. We're hugging each other, happy. So we peel off. The headlights is still there, so we peel off. We back up. We make a U-E and we turn around. And as the car is driving away, we turn back around. There's nothing on the bridge. The headlights didn't cut off. We don't see no car. We don't see no shadows. We don't see anything. So there's nothing on the bridge. The lights was gone, and we sped off. The next day, I remember I was in Mr. Child's psych class because I was in AP psychology then. And we're like, the ones that are still in high school, we're like telling the story to like people, and like nobody believes us girls that was there. We haven't talked about it since, which is fine. But looking back on it, like, that shit was dangerous. That is some dangerous shit. I do not advise anybody to do that, especially us with young girls. We were naive, and if it was people, that could have been like our story of like us going missing. What I know now, would I do something foolish like that? Hell no. Going out in the middle of nowhere, if we were to come up missing or unalive, like, who would have, who would know? Who would know? We didn't tell anybody. The age of cell phones, the ones that we had back in the early 2000s, those cell phones was trash. Who would be able to, like, find us, you know? Like, anything could have happened to us. I just put on a little bit of concealer under here. Anything could have happened to us. Like I said, looking back, spooky ass shit. What else? I've had also, like, different, like, encounters. So there was this one time, we didn't play with the Ouija board, but my friends claimed that they can be possessed by spirits. So we were staying at one of my friends, we were staying at her father's house. And at her father's house, it was rumored that there was spirits. So we was being the young witches that we are. We was like, oh my goodness, let's summon some of these spirits. Let's, like, summon them and see what's going on. And my friends was like, oh yeah, they can, you know, possess me. And we was still, were we in middle school? We was still in high school. It was around this time, around spooky season. And it was like, let's summon some spirits and see if we can get one of them to, like, go in my body. And I was like, girl, bye. I wasn't going to put on that risk. Back then I was still a Christian, and so, like, demon possession and, like, spirit possession was really real to us, and that if it happened, then it was the devil, even though people was, like, catching the Holy Ghost or whatever, like, that is possession. So we do that, and this was when I really, my family said that I had gifts, like, I've seen spirits before, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. So we're sitting down there in the basement, spooky season, full effect, and this girl was like, one of them is here. And I was like, I felt like when I started to feel spirits, my body gets warm, it gets, like, tingly, like I'm smoking that ganja, that green stuff, that feeling. And I was like, yeah, there's, like, something here. Like, I believe you. And I was like, I feel something behind me close to the door to the crawl space. And so my friend was like, yeah, and she, like, goes into, like, this trance. We're all, like, stupid teenagers. She goes into this trance, and her eyes get, like, big, and she was just like, who are you? What are you doing? Da da da, and trying to figure out. And she was saying that she was a little girl, and she was, like, trapped in this house, and she, like, picked up this book and, like, hit one of my friends, the friends whose dad's house that we was in. She, like, hit her with this book, and we were, like, all, like, freaking out. She was saying that, yes, I forget what the spirit's name was, but she was saying that, yes, that she was the spirit, and she was there, and she eventually came out of it the next morning. And let me just say that that was the last time I went over that friend's dad's house. There was, like, some other things that happened, like, with the family, of why we stopped going over there, but that was the main reason, because I was, like, freaking out. Even though I'm a spiritual girly, I do not play when it comes to spirits, I do not play with that. And when it comes to possession, I don't have the gifts to actually cast out a spirit. That requires like some other people that have like some better gifts than I do. No shade to myself or anything like that, but I just don't have the gifts to do that. And like looking back on it, like if I knew what I do now, like I would not do that shit. Even though I'm a spiritual girly, I get down with the spirits. I talk to dead people. I no longer see them. I've asked for that not to happen anymore. And the spirits that I work with, they have listened, and they don't manifest themselves like physically. I usually see them in my mind, but that was some crazy stuff. That was the beginning of like my witchy days, you could say, even though saying witch is like a colonizer term. But those are the days of me not knowing what my gifts were. And so I would just cast them out almost, really, and stuff like that. So I just wanted to share those quick tips. If you are a spiritual girly or man, just be careful. And plus, I would like to hear you guys' scary stories in the comments. So if you have some, feel free. I'm going to get off of here. But if you have some scary stories, please share them. I'm always excited to hear ghost stories. I have a friend, she is actually a ghost hunter, which is so neat. Her and her husband actually do ghost hunting. So if you have some scary stories, I would like to hear it. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.